Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to a retro RPG-ish type thing. About a year ago I did a bunch of reviews of CDs and DVDs, different role-playing connected things. I did the Forgotten Realms Atlas, I did the 2nd edition rules disc, I did various things connected to Star Wars and Babylon 5, just things I'd had in my CD collection which I'd found while moving it out into the shed. Well, with the weather changing, I was back out in the shed last weekend and I knocked the box of CDs everywhere. So I was picking them up off the floor. Right old mess. And amongst them I found this. Waveforms. And I noticed the TSR logo down in the corner. And I was like, I do not remember this. What is this? So I brought it in and I've had a look at it. And basically it's TSR bringing out music to play during your role-playing sessions. And this is a sampler disc they gave away with Dragon magazine at some point. So I thought I'd have a look at it. Now, the way I'm going to do this is you will hear the music playing in the background. Now obviously I'm playing it this way, muted slightly, because I don't want to get copyright struck, because this music belongs to somebody else. But also, this is the way that this music's supposed to be listened to, because it is music for playing during a role-playing session, so your games master and your other players are supposed to be talking over it. This isn't music for listening to. So I thought that was the perfect way. Now I'll go over to the desktop and I'll go through the packaging and I'll make various comments on that. But I'll keep the music from the demonstration tracks, of which there are only 2, playing in the background, and you can get a gist of what these sounded like. But let's go over to the desktop and have a look at the packaging. So, this is Waveforms, the audio sampler for gamers. Now it came out from TSR in 1995, and this is the free version. Basically, Waveforms was a collection of music for your games, but these were heavily based towards the more recent releases. But we'll see that as we go through it, because there's a lot of advertising in here. The CD itself has 4 tracks on it, 2 of which are interviews with the creators and giving you an idea how you would use it and what their thoughts were about it. And the final 2 were demonstration tracks from the CDs themselves. But let's have a look at the back cover. Audio CDs for DMs. Original music and sound effects, and gaming. A magical construct designed to provide information. When you're going out of your mind, sometimes it's nice to have a soundtrack. Music tracks can be used over and over again as backgrounds for any AD&D game. The music and sounds paint an audio picture of the lands and people. Access to horror, interface to terror. Well, the gaming reference here and the access to horror sections are because one of these discs was an interactive story. Now, opening up inside, we have, first of all, let's look at this, a nice group picture of the people behind it. Now, researching these, I discover why the people have been chosen, because they are basically the creators. Roger Moore here, obviously not the James Bond one, but he was the editor of Dragon magazine for many years. Tim Beach is behind a number of Red Steel source books. Timothy Brown is behind much of Dark Sun. We've got Colin McComb, who's behind much of Planescape. Andrea Hayday also does a lot of Planescape stuff, and Harold Johnston has been doing lots and lots, but was heavily involved in Dragonlance as well. So basically these were TSR staffers who are heavily involved in the worlds, so were chosen for what music should be selected. Now, first of all, let's have a look at that picture. That looks absolute premium 90s. If the 90s was to be communicated in one picture, that's the picture I'd choose. The mullet, the dad jumper, they all look nice people, but they are definitely from the 90s. Now, as I said, it seems very targeted to what was modern at the time. So we've got Harold Johnston here. Years Gaming, serious since 1969. Favourite realm, Dragonlance. Look guys, a sleeping dragon. Well, he's behind much of Dragonlance, so I would expect him to like it. Timothy Brown, Years Gaming 20. Favourite realms, Dark Sun. It's one thing to kill it, it's another to hear it die. Colin McComb, Years Gaming 15. Favourite realm, Planescape. Enjoy the silence. Andrea Hayday, Years Gaming 13. Favourite realm, Planescape. They say you never hear the one with your name on it. That's because your DM doesn't have the CD, or because the guy taking aim can't write. We've got Roger Moore, favourite realm, Baba Yaga's Hut. I know you're kind of busy there with your ship on the reefs, and the Hurricane and the Dragon Turtle, but you need to roll for surprise and 2 more saving throws. And finally we've got Tim Beach, Years Gaming 13, favourite realm, Red Steel. Well, I noticed that a lot of these people's gaming habits predate Dungeons & Dragons itself. Years Gaming since 1969. 20 Years Gaming from 1995 goes back to 1975, which I think predates Dungeons & Dragons. It's thereabouts. Now, it seemed really weird to me that none of these like the other ones. Forgotten Realms was always the biggest and most popular one, and not one of them's chosen the Forgotten Realms. Not even the editor of Dragon Magazine. Also, none of them have chosen Greyhawk, which is the classic campaign. But anyway, let's have a look, opening it up further. So, nice gatefold one. The CD here itself, with waveforms on it, and TSR logo. Nothing much to say about that, but I do want to lift it out because there is information behind where the CD sits. Anyway, so we start off and list the different discs which are available. So we've got Planescape. The CD is an artifact, a mimir, a musical construct designed to provide information. Used with any realm game, 41 tracks, a player's primer to the Outlands. I won't bother listing everybody involved. Then we've got Red Steel. These CDs are entirely original soundtracks designed for gaming, as background or adventure atmosphere or audio information, people and lands. Used with any roleplay game, 14 tracks and 15 tracks. Red Steel Campaign Expansion and Red Steel Savage Baronies. Then we've got Ravenloft. This CD adds audio drama and colour to your horror adventure gaming. Tracks 1 to 59 feature a dramatic voice presentation with music and multiple sound effects for different rooms. Tracks 68 to 81 are sound effects to heighten the action, used with any RPG horror game. A Light in the Belfry. Then we've got this one, which is Terror Tracks, Track of the Vampire. Now this is a game CD. Basically a choose your own adventure, where at the end of each track you are selecting the next track to go on to. I have no idea how many tracks are on it. I don't know whether there's a limit on CDs, I just don't know enough about them. So whether this is a very small one or whether it would last ages. But the samples that they give in the interview sections are quite interesting because it is a modern spin on it. Lots of the things you are playing are things like answering machine messages that are being left, 911 phone calls, just different audio clues. And I really quite like that. The sound effects are in there. It's really quite compelling from the little bits I heard. That's the only one which actually really interests me. This CD is a standalone audio game that even one can play. You're in control of a network of operatives who secretly investigate mysterious events and emergency calls, fielded nationwide by 911 operators. You cue to track 1 and push play. You make the choices, select your tracks. Your choices may even result in the death of an agent. It's not for the faint of heart. Then we've got other ones here. We've got Karamikios, Kingdom of Adventure campaign setting, Glantry, Kingdom of Magic campaign setting, Hail the Hero's Adventure, and Night of the Vampire Adventure. These CDs are an entire medieval world on audio, a combination of dramatic voice presentations, music and sound effects. Using them with gaming materials, the DM can provide a multimedia game. Maps, visuals, props, music, sound effects, etc. And then we've got the track listing for the CD, which is why I lifted the CD out itself. Track 1, Hanging with TSR, 19 minutes 15. 2, Sound Secrets, 7 minutes 70. Then we've got Savage Barony's music montage, 5 minutes 10, and Red Steel music montage, 5 minutes 22. So we're going for these two ones from the Red Steel setting, which is something which has kind of been forgotten about these days. Now, I'm not a big fan of music in my games, I have to say, because I have tinnitus, I have problems hearing, and I have problems with differentiating noises. So, if a Games Master puts music on, it's got to be really quiet, or I simply can't hear what he says. I can't separate him from background noises. But I do quite like it when it's quiet. I do quite like the atmosphere, and it's also something to listen to when you're not doing anything else. But most Games Masters I know just use movie soundtracks and whatever. I don't think they'd go out and buy individual CDs, although I have had one Games Master which had particular music they were using for a bard playing in a tavern when we entered. But it seems an interesting enough idea. It's definitely taking role-playing into a technological era, which is something quite intriguing that TSR was doing back in the 90s. Something which is only really coming into play now, some 25-ish years later. Anyway, I think I've whittled on for quite long enough. The two audio tracks should have played pretty much through by now, so I better shut up. So thank you very, very much for watching. But as always, most of all, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.